Welcome back. That was beautiful music by Queba. Now, we're going to talk relationship this morning, and as we promised you, Stephanie Benson is our guest for this morning, and she's going to help us to understand what it takes to keep the relationship fresh. All right, many of you are wondering, you've been in a relationship for maybe a few months, you've been for a couple of years, maybe even up to 5 years, 10 years, and things are already feeling a little sour, a little stale. How do we keep things fresh? Well, Stephanie is our guest this morning, and all the way from the UK, she's joining us by Zoom. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all. I'm enjoying the sun.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah, it looks very nice and bright over there. Anyway, so how did you celebrate your 31st anniversary last week? Just give us a sneak peek.
Yeah, I'll just give you very briefly. We obviously COVID is still happening over here. You know, we're still having to be very careful. So we stayed at home. I did a little picnic outside for my husband and I. The kids bought a cake. We just had amazing lunch all together at the table, and yeah, we just enjoyed being together because there's 7 of us. I have 5 children, my husband and I. And then at dinner, the kids created an amazing dinner. They had a sushi dinner, and yeah, and had a great time. And then him and I had our own private time later on.
Okay, so now 5 children. That sounds like a lot of work. How do you keep relationships fresh? Take us right through the journey from the beginning. You know, they say there are different phases. You have your 2 years and your 5 years and the 10 years and so on. How do we keep a relationship fresh? You've been doing this for 31 years. That's a long time.
It is a long time. Well, I mean, for me, I usually take one day at a time. And I also like to plan things, you know, because my husband is a very typical Englishman. When I say typical, he's very straight. Everything needs to be in a certain order. And I am erratic, so you know I do things a little bit more spontaneously, and I like to shop as well. So what I tend to do is I create situations. So when he's coming home, for instance, I would have a drink ready for him. Maybe before he goes to work, I'll have his coffee by his bedside. You know, little tiny things make a huge difference in the long haul. And also, my husband is one of those people, he likes to take care of me as well. So maybe when I'm working and I come home late, for instance, he always has, my dinner ready or something. So I think between us, we make it work. And I've gotten to the point now that he's really relaxed about life. You know, he doesn't worry about things being in order so much anymore because I'm a sort of crazy soul. So he's adapting to it. Okay. And it sort of works between us, really.
So for people who are in relationships, they're not yet married, but you're already having, you know, a sense of, we've been doing this for 2 years, you know, I'm not feeling as excited as I was at the beginning. Sometimes it can be a scary feeling. Do people need to worry about the fact that they're not feeling as excited? And how do we get that excitement back?
Well, there's so many instances that can cause that. That usually could be maybe there's a little bit of maybe disrespect happening in the in the relationship. Maybe somebody's ignoring the other person. Maybe they're not spending as much time together. And when I say time together, I'm not talking about sitting in front of the TV and just, you know, or talking to the kids. I'm talking about time together, talking about silly things, you know. And I think that's important. And when you don't make time for those things, then you tend to lose that bond that you had because the romance dies. You can't keep that romance as it was when you were together. It usually, you have to work on it. So people think, oh, maybe I have to try too hard to be romantic. No, I mean, it's what you have to do. Nothing just happens. You have to make it happen. And you have to create those situations. So I just think that sometimes the respect goes away, especially when somebody's doing something repetitively that annoys the other partner. Because then as time goes on, you get more and more irritated and it makes it harder for you to try. So I always find that when you have a problem with those kind of issues, you should talk about it straight away instead of holding it in and thinking, it'll be okay. Oh, he'll change. You don't want to do that. You really need to get it out of your system there and then. And as soon as you get it out of your system, you'll be amazed how it makes you feel. It's like some kind of elation that happens when you speak your mind. So I usually have these conversations with my husband from time to time. And I'll tell you straight out, listen, I didn't like what you did. Don't do that. And he does the same to me. But with men, sometimes I have to pry it out of him. Did I do something wrong? What did I do? Tell me. I mean, can I change it? So I think it's really important that you communicate. And you have to keep it going. It's 50-50, guys and girls. It can't be one person, has to do all the hard work. It's for both people.
Yeah. Now we live in a time where divorce rates are at an all-time high. They've never been as high as they are now, and it looks like people have less patience to work things out. What do you think accounts for this? And is it possible that we can do things, even if it means in small communities, to reverse the trend?
Yeah, the one thing I found when I came to Ghana is people get into people's business too much.
Okay.
And you need to find a friend that you can talk to. But really, when you're having issues between you as a couple, you need to talk between you first. And if it's gone past that stage, then you involve one family member, one that you trust. But we tend to sort of invite the whole family, and everybody has an opinion. Have you ever tried to see a whole bunch of Ghanaians trying to start a car? It's hilarious. Everybody is trying to no, don't do it that way, do that. So it's really, really complicated. So you need to keep it between you first, talk a lot, and then maybe even a friend. It doesn't have to be a family. I have a good friend that when I have an issue, I would call and I'll say, listen, this is what's happened. Can you speak to John for me? And then she would, or he'll do the same with her. So really, I think let's just keep it a little bit to yourselves first before you involve somebody. But don't bring the whole family in, because it creates so much of an issue. But yes, I mean, people. There's something called the 7-year itch. It gets to a point in your marriage where you're so sick of each other, your eyes start to wander.
Wow.
Never get to that. Tell me the truth. Are you married?
Well, I have recently had a big challenge in my situation, so I'm no longer married as it is. Yes, that's where I am.
It's just so easy for people to give up nowadays because of social media as well. I mean, but then again, a long time ago, when people stayed in marriages, they were always unhappy. So, and I think your happiness usually tends to show on your face. And some people who have been married for a long time and they look tired. Because it's just too much going on that they've held in for so long, and they're not able to tell their partners because they're scared for whatever reason. And that's a big issue. So, I mean, and social media now has made things so easy. And women are readily easy on social media. So the guys sometimes say to give up. Okay, if you're not giving it to me, I'm going somewhere else. And that's the problem. And the women, they want to look a certain way, so they bring their insecurities into a marriage. Because everybody looks a certain way, so we want to be that way. No one person is the same. So we all live our own life. Our own truth is what's important. And that's what I keep trying to pass on to a lot of people on social media. Be yourself. Who are you competing for? So it's just the giving up. I just wish people didn't give up on themselves too quickly. And you have to try. But if it's not working, please don't stay in the marriage. There's no reason to stay unhappy forever. Really. I do want that people are walking away a little bit more, because sometimes it's just too much. So let's finally, as we end the interview, talk about the long haul. Those of you who've gone all the way to 30 years plus, how do you still look like you're a young couple? Well, my husband looks old. I am the one who's young.
Well, I'm referring to the experience. When we see you, you're just lovey-dovey like a young couple. That's more of what I'm thinking about. I'm wondering.
I know what you're saying, because I love fun. I love jumping around. I'm just one of those people that I don't know how to sit still. So and also I like, my brain is so creative that I'm always like, okay, how can I annoy him now? always been that way for such a long time. Sometimes I think he's just going to be sick of me, but he sort of loves that about me.
Yeah.
And that's only because I've gotten used to who I am. I know who I am.
Okay.
In the beginning, I had very little patience. I'm not one of the most patient people on this earth.
Okay.
And I have to work on that, because sometimes you work on yourself. So, and also I don't give up. There are times when I felt like I needed to give up. That's the fact. And the thing is, I'm very spontaneous. So when I feel like I need to give up, I will catch a flight with my kids and I'll leave him like for a few weeks. But that was when I was young. That was really bad. I didn't really want to be that person. So I had to bring myself back and think, okay, that's not good. You don't want to walk away from a situation. And then I'll sort of confront it. And then it's sort of just built and built and built.
Yeah.
But also, I don't hold on to things for too long. When I'm angry, I get it overdone with, and then I'm hugging you again. So you'll never even know that I was angry like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I think women need to learn to do. Don't stay angry too long, because it shows the wrinkles in your face,
That's really fantastic advice. Don't stay angry too long. Stephanie Benson, thank you so much for speaking to us here on Breakfast Daily. We really appreciate your time. Our love to the family and everybody else. And congratulations on 31 years. That's super amazing. We want to be around to celebrate the 50th one too. So keep going.
Yes,
keep going. Keep going. All right, we've been speaking to Stephanie Benson, who is a UK-based Ghanaian singer-songwriter, fantastic person, as you can tell.